Hey y'all, today I want to make you a recipe that my family really loves, and it's a good recipe this time of the year, and it's just plain old chicken noodle soup. So I'm going to make it in the crock pot, but you can make it in the crock pot or just a pot on the stove, whichever way you want to do it. It doesn't take a lot of ingredients, but I feel that the secret to this recipe is the noodles that I use. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And here is my crock pot with the liner, which I really enjoy these. It helps a lot with cleanup. And then if you'll remember in my grocery haul from Sam's Club, I had the rotisserie chicken breasts that I bought. So I'm going to use 2 of those, and I'm just putting them down in the crock pot. You do whatever works for you as far as if you're cooking for 1 or 2 or a whole bunch. You can figure out if you need more or less of what I'm showing you here. So anyway, that's the 2 chicken breasts, and before I put the noodles in, after this is cooked for a couple hours, I'm going to take them out and shred them up. So, and this one has a little bit of skin on it, and I'm going to leave that in there because the skin has a lot of flavor. But when I go to shred them, I'll take that skin off. So to the chicken, I'm adding some carrots that I cut up and some celery. And I'm not a big celery fan, especially if it's raw. But in a recipe like this where you cook the celery, I think it takes most of the flavor that I don't like in celery, and it takes it away, and then it's good, if that made sense. So to this, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I don't want to overdo it because you can always add more in your bowl. But that was a good tablespoon of salt, and I want to say half a tablespoon of pepper. And then basil, which, as you know, is one of my very favorite spices, and I think it gives the soup a really good flavor. So now I'm going to put chicken broth in it, and some of you use the cans or the boxes of chicken broth, and that's fine. I think it's more economical to use the powder bouillon with water. And so I'm going to put in about that much, or I think that might be a little much. I'm going to take some of that out. I think that, and that is about a tablespoon. I think that should be enough. If you get too much of this, it can be salty. And then I've got, I don't know how many cups this is, but I'm pouring this all over everything, and I'm using the whole pitcher. And this is what the way I feel about how much liquid you put. If you like a lot of the juice, then put more. If you don't like a lot of the juice, don't put more. But with my noodles, I'm going to cook them about halfway and then drain them and then put them in here to finish cooking. And I want this seasoned broth to absorb into the noodles. So if it absorbs into the noodles, it's going to make less water in here. So that's why I have pretty much broth. And this is the noodles that I used last time I made this recipe. I got them from Big Lots for $2.50. And Pardell, I really don't know how you say it, but they're German home-style egg noodles. They're different than the egg noodles that you get at the store. And you can get these. I saw they had them at Publix, and you probably can get them at any grocery store, but they're the Germans home-style. And you can see they look just a little different than the normal ones, but these have a wonderful flavor. Randy and Kaylin just really loved them, and so this is what I have left of this bag, and it should be enough. And so I'm going to let this cook for several hours. I mean, the chicken is already cooked and tender, but I just want those flavors to really mingle, and when I feel like I'm ready to shred it and continue on, I'll bring you back. Okay, we're ready to go on with our next step on our chicken noodle soup. So here is where it has cooked. You can see the broth looks rich, and the carrots and the I know what I'm going to say, celery are nice and tender. So here is the chicken, and it just shredded up so easily. And I did take that fat off and threw it away, but the broth got a lot of its seasoning from that fat. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in, and Kaylin is so excited that I'm fixing this because she just loves it. So I've put in the chicken, and now the directions on the noodles said cook them for 10 minutes. So I cooked them about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to let it cook on high for at least a half hour. And so the rest of the time it cooks, it can be absorbing some of this really good seasoned broth instead of just water. So I'm putting the noodles in, and I just finished draining them. And the little spots are the basil that I put in. But I'll put this back on high and let it finish cooking, and then I will show you what it looks like. Hey everybody, our chicken noodle soup is ready, and this is such a good soup. I know if you try it, you'll like it. Here it is in the pot, or the crock pot. I don't know if you can really see that well or not, but the noodles, even though I had cooked them 50% done, they did soak up a lot of the juice, and that's fine. There's still a lot of juice in here, but those noodles are just so good, and they just make this dish really wonderful. So this is Kaylin's dish, and she really loves the chicken. She is a chicken eating girl. So I'm going to serve her food in this little pretty dish, and there's what it looks like. And I hope you get a chance to try this recipe and also try those noodles, because I don't think you'll be disappointed with them. I know that I really like them so much better than the regular egg noodles. So that's it. thank you so much for watching and for returning to my channel. It means a lot to me and blesses my heart. So you have a good evening, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.